So in this video, we're going to be going through page 34 of your packet. And up top, we're going to be starting by finding the missing dimension of a similar figure. So we're told that the polygons are similar. And for the first two, I actually think that you can identify a scale factor. So for example, for number 8, this side is a 10, and I can see that this is matching up with it. That corresponds, and it's half the length. It also holds true for 8. Cut it in half, we get 4. So 6, if we cut it in half, we'd get 3. For number 9, we have a 9 by 12, and we're trying to figure out this bottom part with the 4. So we see that this is the taller side, which matches with the taller side, and we can see here that if we take 12 and divide it by 3, we get 4. So I'm going to take this 9 and divide it by 3, and I get that this is a 3, which means because it's a rectangle, x would also be 3. Now for this next one at number 10, we would need to set up a proportion. Now the proportion that I have actually works no matter how you see it. Some of you see that this 20 would go with this 15, so you're thinking blue to blue. And then we would see that this 15 in red matches up with x, and we cross multiply and divide. All right? Now some of you see actually that this blue 20 goes over this red 15, blue 20 over red 15, and then a blue 15 over our red x. Either way, when we cross multiply and divide, we get the same answer. So we get 15 times 15, and then we divide it by the 20, and that's how I get the 11.25. Now for this next set of problems, I'm going to kind of just walk you through, and again, I've got a lot of work up here, so you can just kind of follow along with me. For number 11, there is a flagpole that casts a shadow that's 12 feet long, and there is a stick here that is placed in the ground that casts a shadow that is 3 feet long. So the goal is to use this ratio to find the height of the pole. So we're comparing the height to the shadow. So the unknown has a shadow of 12. And then here, this stick has a height of 4 with a shadow of 3 feet. So then we cross multiply. So 12 times 4 is 48. And then I get 3x. And when I divide by 3, we get that the height of the flag pole would have to be 16 feet. For number 12, it's asking if these two parallelograms are similar. And the answer is no. A parallelogram, first of all, is not similar to a rhombus. We can see here that HJ is 20, and the parallelogram HG has a height of 10, so 20 to 10. But over here, it has a length of 10 and a height of 10. And these proportions, or these ratios, I should say, are not proportional. So no, they are not similar figures. Now the degrees do hold true, and that 120 is the same as 120, but because the lengths are not proportional, they are not similar. All right, for number 13, I've got a picture here for you to kind of walk you through this word problem. We have a tree and its shadow form the legs of a right triangle. So what it's saying is kind of in here, if we draw, there'd be a right triangle right there. All right, and kind of similar to this first problem, we have a stick with a shadow. And it looks like the length of the shadow of the stick is 8 feet, so I've got an 8 here. The height of the stick is 6 feet, so that's why you see a 6 here. And we're also told that the shadow that the tree has is 32 feet. So what we can see is that there is a scale factor here. 8 times 4 would be 32. So 6 times 4 is how I'm getting the height of the tree at 24 feet. And for this one, when you actually label AD with the 10 yards and AC with the 45 yards, BE, it's a little hard to see in your packet. I think it cuts off, but the B is this point up here, and then E is down here. I know that cuts off in your packet. It also tells us that BE right here is 60, and it wants us to find right here the length across the pond, BC. So what I did was I set up a proportion, and I'm comparing that this side corresponds with this side, so I've got 10 with 60, boom, and then I've got that this 45 goes with x, 45 with x. Now I see right here that I've got a scale factor times 6, so if you do 45 times 6, we'll get that unknown is 270 yards. Now you could set up another proportion here, y'all. You could do 10 with 45, which is right here, and then you could put the height with the base, so like height with base, and again, when you cross multiply and divide, you'd still get a 270. And that concludes the video on page 34. Thank you.